Problem is, I don't know if my audio is working, and also it does not look like my VTuber model is working. Oh, hey, there it goes. I can see. Testing, testing, testing. Hello? Boo. Ba. D D D D D. Okay, I guess it's working. All right. Let's see here. And I'm gonna. Oh, hey, I am there. Look at that. Of course, my head is like getting like destroyed by the top, but whatever. It works. All right, we're good. So we are. Can I just exit out of there? There, good. Okay, good. Azur. All right. So I had to turn down all the volumes a lot on this because, like, I think the last video I did on this, first of all, I didn't know how to edit my information, so it came out and goes, "Oh, this is just a live stream for and so I was like, "Oh, okay." I figured it out a little bit better. And so basically what this is now I've stopped and not done my reset. I could have done my reset on Saturday, but the main thing I want to kind of show you is this is more of a tutorial thing of what to do and what to expect every month with Operation Siren. And it's basically you're going to reset and lose all that you have collected throughout the previous month. But it's going to give you like these points that will allow you to buy stuff that you need. So let's just jump right in there. It will go ahead and here's the it'll say like, hey, your thing reset. Here, go ahead and choose your fleets. And here's this is where you can actually keep your fleet for the entire month. You can change them later on. There's this option to be able to change your fleet as needed. It costs 50. It costs 50 points. Whatever points this is. But yeah, you get to change everything. I think I'm good for right now. These are pretty good teams. My line's not quite just enough here. And of course, then it goes, Operation has reset. Would you like to go to the shop? And so you said yes. Now, basically, everything, there's few things that are permanent in here. And it will take everything that's not permanent and it will give it a point value. And those point values will go into supply shop vouchers. So stuff like, if, for instance, if you had any one of these things still left around, it will convert those into points. There's also ship heals, an item to heal your ships. Those will begin to get converted to points. And there's also an item that gives you the points you need to go ahead and explore and do whatever you need in the game in this game mode. And those get anything that's not used there gets converted. And then there's a bunch of other things that do get converted, and I'll go into details on what they are. But things that I look for on this, and I'll go through each one here. First of all, the Operation Siren data log. Basically, what this does is it makes it easy. It's a quality of life thing that's I don't really use, but it basically means anything you unlocked last month are still unlocked this month. And so you basically just go and come into a board that's fully unlocked, and you can go ahead and jump from here to there. And I don't like to do that. I like to unlock it every single time just because of some perks that you get for doing it that way. Then there's this. You probably are aware of this. You get 10 of these every Monday for your week-long bonus from the shop. And there's, of course, the high efficiency combat logistics plan, which just basically means every time you run a map one time, it doubles it. It doubles how much experience you get, it doubles how much oil you use, and doubles how many ships you get and drops you get. And that's my alarm, so let's ignore that. but but it is good for if you're grinding, because what it does is actually save you time. If you needed to grind a map 6 times for whatever reason, with these things active, means you only need to grind. You only need to run it 3 times, and it counts as 6. And that's the beauty of it. Is actually it's a time saver more than anything else. You're still using the same amount of oil. You're getting the same amount of drops that you would if you just did the full 6 times. But in real world time, it saves you that time. So I like them. I use them a lot whenever I get them. They're really nice because of the time saver. They are great time savers. So if you have extra points, go for it and get those. This is very similar to this right here, the hidden zone data logger. It just basically means when you go into one of those hidden zones that you get from these items, because these will unlock hidden zones of various levels. And whenever you go to those hidden zones, they'll be completely unlocked with this item. Not super useful. I don't really care about that. Usually you can just do a reconnaissance and look at the whole map if you want to. Or in some of the higher level hidden zones, they have a way of there's a lighthouse item that you can go and get unlock, and it unlocks the map for you. So there's ways around it, but so I don't really like that. Like I don't like these. I don't like these because again the reconnaissance is really cheap, and so I'd rather spend my money on elsewhere. And of course you get this. This is affects. I always get the money. I go through a lot of money. I know there's people there with like hundreds and thousands of they've reached their coin count. I never do. I'm constantly leveling up all of my characters, all of my ship girls. I'm leveling up their gear. I'm doing something that requires lots of coins. So I'm always out for coin. And if you need coin, there's a quick 10,000 right there for you. So, and then of course these, I don't care who you are, you probably didn't want the whole set of those. Mostly the red, not so much the blue and yellow. In fact, the blue, I am getting to the point on blue, the blue skills, where I have all my ship girls will have max blue skills. Like literally, like that's where I'm at. I'm getting down to where I'm leveling up the blue skills on rare ship girls, because there's just all the other ones from elite up have their blue skills maxed. So eventually I won't need that, but I'm not there yet. So I'm going to grab those. Yellow is a close second. Yellow, I'm getting pretty close to finishing up all the elites that need a yellow skill maxed out. Then we have these crystal fragments. That's for the Operation Siren shop, and that's where you can buy various items that you need. And I'll show you the shop in a second here, but yeah, if you need these fragments to buy something in the shop, that's where you would go. And of course, then you have these coordinate loggers. These unlock hidden zones, which is where you get the most valuable items, which are usually the items that you use to in the gear lab. Those materials that you need for gear lab creation. And then of course there's other ones where you get lots of you can get a lot of plates for upgrading various gear, as mostly mostly what you want from this, like as far as those plates are concerned, you want the gold plates, and you'll find more of those gold plates here in those hidden zones. So I don't usually buy them though, because they're kind of pricey, and I get a lot anyways. It's just playing through the levels and unlocking them. One other thing I like to do is I like to grab these. And what this is of course in Operation Siren, you go in there and your enemies have buffs. and these are those same buffs. So you go in with no buffs, and your enemies are buffed. So the idea is that you either match their level, their buff level, or beat it, and they just become regular. Like, you know, if you're at their level with the same buffs, you're.
Will not be known as loan, not open money. Just going to get sodas and going to the dispensary.
Okay, gotcha.
You want to take breaks.
Oh, no worries. No worries. Sorry, my son was talking to me real quick, but no. So basically, what you know, the whole premise about Operation Siren is have the same buffs that of the enemies you're going against. So at least you're on even footing. They do change level depending on the level of the zone, certainly, and that's something to take account of. But also those buffs do kind of give them an edge if you go into zone and you're not fully buffed yet. These get you up to I think 60 points in 60 points in each like buff category, which basically means that you're good up through like zone 4. You know, just about everything in zone 4 and below are, you know, either at above a level of 60 in each section or below, with various, you know, some have like higher buffs and like, oh yeah, they have a higher attack buff, you know, and I'll go through the different buff zones. Like I don't know what else to call them, honestly. So let's go through them. Augment modules, you know. Oh yeah, no, right here. Quality tuning sample. Tactics. All right. A quality sample of Siren and enhancement modules. They're modules, okay, I guess. Used to gain 10 points in combat adaptability stat. We'll go through what those mean in a second here. Give me one moment. Like, a lot of times when I come in here and do stuff like this, I don't know what the official name is for everything. Because it's like, oh, this is called blah, blah, blah. You know, I don't really care. You know, it's just like, I just kind of do what I need to do, and I understand the concept, but I don't like really go and it's like, oh, they call it this. So, forgive me. But we'll go in here right now. What you do is you want to go click on storage, and there's all your buffs, and we'll go ahead and upgrade to level 60 in all areas. And there should be a explanation. There it is. All right. So adaptive tuning is what they're called, offensive. By analyzing the Siren's enhancement modules and tuning our ship's rigging accordingly, the effective attack power of the enemy will be decreased. And so the enemies are running these same adaptive tunings as well. And so our adaptive tuning is to kind of counteract theirs. And so that's kind of the process. And then, of course, here we have another one for survivability. By analyzing Siren's enhancement modules and tuning our ship's rigging accordingly, the effective HP of enemy ships will be decreased. And then, of course, by analyzing Siren, this is for tactics. Analyzing blah 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 blah. We can mitigate the Siren's healing mitigate the Siren's healing interface effects. Okay. So I like to have it at 60 because then I don't have to worry about my girls getting too hurt. And one of the first things, of course, I do. Oh, by the way, let me go in here and kind of show you some things that you can buy here. Now, first, you go into resupply in that middle button. And you can look at all of the things you can buy. Now, in this first one, you get more of these tuning samples for your adaptive tuning. And these ones can only do 5 points, whereas the purple purple ones I use do 10. Now you can also buy these coordinate loggers that open up those hidden zones that give you the most permanent items that you would use outside of outside of Operation Siren, this game mode. Then you got this energy storage device. Certain items in this game require those to be activated. I mentioned earlier some of the higher zones, like Zone 5 and Zone 6. If you get a hidden zone in those areas, they give you a lighthouse that you can go and activate, and it, free of charge, it lights up your whole map instead of just using reconnaissance. And they operate off of these guys. These are what you have to plug in to make those work. Now, there's other things in this game that require those. Specifically, there's these canisters that you can that you find while playing through it. That you can either break open and get the contents inside, or you can use these items on it. And not only do you get the items that are inside, but you also get a boost to one of your adaptive tunings. And then, of course, just more of those coordinate finders. Higher level ones, though, that give you unlock hidden zones in higher areas. And then, of course, this one right here. This actually is very valuable in a lot of respects. First of all, it has the way to get these special item tokens. Now, these item tokens are what you want mostly because they're going to be buying you the most valuable items in this game mode, and so you want those. Now, you buy them using these, the Operation Supply Coins. Operation Supply Coins, you get these from killing an enemy. You get these from completing a zone. You get these for just about everything you do in this game zone. Earns you a little bit of these Operation Supply Coins. So you can rack up, and you start off, by the way, with 2,000 of them. And you can rack up quite a number of these coins. By the way, those coins also do get converted at the end of each month for those the supply store vouchers that I used to buy some of our boosts here. And so getting a large number of these will help at the end. But then what you can also do is you use these, and for instance, I can buy 20 right now, but a maximum of 200 right there. This one is also a maximum of 200, 400, and then of course the bottom one is 600. Great for getting those really high-end items that you really want to get from this game mode. And then there's these, which it's random, yes, but it's a super rare building material that you use for Gear Lab. Again, very valuable, but it's random, so it kind of sucks in that regard. You don't have any control what you're going to get, but if you have, since they'll be you can buy them using these very easily obtained Operation Supply Coins. Why not go for it and just see what you can get? Oftentimes, I at the end of each month, I do build a lot of things with my Gear Lab because I make sure I grab all of the golds. Now, you can also do that with the Elite and the Rare. I never buy the rare ones. I have an overabundance of rare. Usually, with those rare materials for Gear Lab, you have so much of it, and you rarely use any of it. The only time you're building anything in a Gear Lab that's of rare level is it's used as a material for an Elite or higher, and so it's like, oh, I just need to build this thing. Okay, and you usually have more than enough. So I don't see anyone needing to buy it all. This, however, depends on where you are leveling up. You might be transitioning. Wow, I almost lost my voice there. You might be transitioning from rare to elite. Here, hold on. Wow, okay. voice. It works. Yay. Now, if you're like me, of course, I started off with mostly rare gear, and then built up to elite. And so, in that regard, I do sometimes still buy these because there are some elite gear that are worth buying, and sometimes, of course, if for anything, I use them to make gear for the gold items. But either way, wherever you are, you might find value in these. Of course, there's more value in these, less value in these. Definitely work on getting the gold, not so much the elite. So then we get to this group. Now, everything in here is about your meta ships. Now, these help, like, increase the experience that the research experience needed to level up their skills. Now, their skills level up a different way than any other skills. You don't use skill books with meta. They actually level up depending on what you do, specifically in Operation Meta. If you go and do a lot of, for instance, if you do a lot of commissions, which I do, every time you do a commission, it gives them a little bit, all meta ships, a little bit of experience in their skills, and so they kind of level up while you're doing commissions or other stuff outside of the Operation Siren. If you want to boost that up, because some of the super rare meta ships, getting their skills up to level 10 can be difficult because of how much experience it requires. And yeah, you can earn it several ways, but still a very, very slow process. And this is going to kind of help speed that up. Now then, all these here are for increasing their base stats. Much like where you would use other, like the common ships, the ship girls that you get copies of. You use the common ship girls to increase the stats, the base stats of your normal ships. These are what's used to increase the base stats of meta ships. This one right here, improve torpedo capabilities of Ash's ships. I don't know why they say Ash's ships. They should say meta ships. That's what they are. During the rigging modification, why are you calling them Ashes? I mean, because if I'm not mistaken, Ashes is the name of a faction of the meta ships, but they're all meta, you know. So I don't know why they use that terminology there. Anyways, but this one is for their torpedo, for those that have a torpedo. Honestly, in my experience, you don't get this very often. The newest meta ship right now, newest meta ship. Hold on a second. One moment. Just gonna back out of there real quick. Nope, I'm in the wrong area. Need memento right there. Yeah. Again, I'm like, I love her, and I can't believe I'm forgetting her name. Kawakaze. Okay. I want to say Kamikaze. That's the thing. And I was like, no, that's not right. She is the most current SR meta ship. And so, obviously, she's going to have a torpedo stat. Let's go back in here. Go back in here. Go back there. So, she used a lot of these. And after a while, like, when you're starting out, upgrading these meta ships can be difficult. These things are a rare premium. So, you definitely want to grab them up if you're starting out. After a while, they start building up, especially this. This is the one, you don't get a lot of meta ships that use torpedoes. Happens sometimes, but not very often. You more often than not actually get backliners, like battleships and carriers, aircraft carriers. And so, more often than not, you don't need those, but they are valuable, especially when you're starting out. All these are valuable, by the way. Now, this one is the one that is going to be used on every single one of the meta ships. And it's by far the most needed and hardest to get, you know? Well, not so much hardest to get, hardest to keep, because Every ship needs a reloads that you're going to use. This is what you use to increase their base reload stat. Every ship in the game has a reload stat, period. So obviously this very common thing, a very common one to be used on every single meta ship that you have. So you'll want these by the dozen, and you can now actually get those in hard levels, in the hard levels, the hard versions of the world map levels. And so these will drop on the second map of each world in hard mode. So they don't drop in a lot, but it helps. It really does help. Then we got this one, which improves the aviation. This is very useful. Not as often as battleships. We get more battleships than we do with aircraft carriers, but we do get quite a few aircraft carriers in the meta ships. So this is, of course, for the aviation stat. And then this is the firepower stat, which, of course, Kawakazi definitely needed because she is. This is actually very useful in a lot of them. You won't ever need them in, of course, aircraft carriers, but anything that uses guns. So that's battleship, which is the most common one, and then occasionally when you get a cruiser of some kind, whether it's a large cruiser, light cruiser, any kind of cruiser, they're going to have a fire stat. Of course, also destroyers have a fire stat. So, firepower stat. So this is also very useful. So, but more often than not, you're going to need those and those. Definitely these, with a secondary in these and a tertiary in this, and this not as often, because again, the only ones that you have torpedo stats are the very rare battleships. Old destroyers have a torpedo stat, but there are very few destroyer metas. And then, of course, there's the cruisers that uses torpedoes. Not all of them do. Whether it's light cruiser or heavy cruiser, not all. Some of them do use torpedoes, but not all of them. So, again, just where you would buy that. What you really want to get in this game mode is in this page. This is where you get the Tier 2 Ordnance Testing Reports. Basically, those top secret reports. These are used to get some of the best, to build some of the best gear in the game in Gear Lab. Some of the best gear that you can get is hidden behind these top secret documents. You want that as much as possible. You want that gear as much as possible. Not all gear that requires these are great gear, because I know there's some gear, and like, why would I waste the top secret reports on that gear? It's not a very good gear. And I can go through the gear that you would want to use them on. But I'll go in. This is probably going to be a short video, so I might just add that in there as a little helper for you. We also have this Tier 1 Ordnance Report, basically the purple version of the top secret reports. This is good for one gear that you would want to get a lot of, just a lot of. And I'll go ahead and show you what that gear is. Again, we'll play a visit to Gear Labs, but I think that'd be helpful, because a lot of what you get in this game mode is Gear Lab materials, and so I want to go ahead and point you out on what is the most valuable things to get as far as that is concerned. And then you have this. Now, as you can see, owned down below the little picture of it, I have 127. You get a lot of these, but they're still nice to have. They're SR Gear Design Plans. Whenever you make anything in Gear Lab, it requires a certain number of gear design plans with that specific gear. So if you're doing any kind of airplane, you need the aircraft gear design. If you're doing any kind of gun, you need the gun gear design, and so on and so forth. There's anti-air, and then there's. I really wish that they did ops gear in Gear Labs, but they don't yet. So I want to make sure I am still being heard. Looks like I'm still being heard. Hi. I have to make sure. Boo. All right, good. We're good. We're good. All right. So I'll make sure. And there's so aircraft, anti-air, guns, and torpedoes, and each of those requires the gear design for that specific gear. So there's basically 4 different gear designs you can get. This is, when you buy this, it doesn't give you a random one. What it does is gives you this item, this specific item, which allows you to pick from one of those 4 items. So you'll just get a stack of these, and whenever you need the gear design plans for that, you go into your little stack and you pick out, I want 6 in aircraft, and it'll just give you 6 in aircraft. It's not random. You pick what you need. The other 2 items in here on this first track, of course, is the complete repair and the emergency repair packs. Those are good if on the run in a map your guys get in, your girls get injured, you can heal them on the fly. Now, however, but just playing through the game, you get lots of those. So not necessarily, I wouldn't waste the. Well, I mean, granted, it does not cost the special item tokens. It costs these Operation Supply coins, but still, you get a lot of those. And there's another way of healing. I'll go and show you in a second here. Down below here, then you get, and you can't really see this, you get the tier for random gear plates, and then the prototype gear plates, gold. Now, the gold ones are used to level up your gear one past the highest level they can. Now, for any gear that is rare, it can get up to level 6 using the regular plates, and then it can go up to one more level to level 7 using one of these purple plates. But for purple ones, they can get up to gear level 11. So you'll get them up, of course. 1 through 3 uses the common gear plates. Then 4 through 6 requires the purple gear plates. And then leveling up from 7 up to 10 is we'll go ahead and no, I jumped here. So 1 to 3 is leveling it up from 1 to 2 to 3 requires the common gear plates. Then leveling up to 4, 5, and 6 requires the elite gear plates, and then 7, 8, 9 to 10 requires the the purple, hold on a second. I know what I'm doing wrong. Okay, God darn it. I'm sorry about this. I'm stupid. Anyways, so anything rare and below items, they can go up to level 7. But of course, leveling up to 2, 3, 2 and 3 requires common gear plates. Then 4, 5, 6 requires rare gear plates. Then 7, 8, 9 to 10 requires the elite gear plates. Then anything beyond 10 will require the gold plates. Now, elite items can get up to level 11 this way, but the super rare, the gold items, get up to level 13. And it does add a little bit of stats to them, and they usually do a little bit more damage, and they also get a boost to damage in Operation Siren. Not a huge deal if you're not a big fan of this game mode, but there does come up with additional stats if you get them up to above level 10. So definitely want to get the gold plates as much as possible. They are random, unfortunately. You just have to buy them, and they'll randomly assign you what gear plates you're going to get for which gear. Of course, you get more of those top secret gold, top secret purples, and some more of those Gear Lab design plans for SR, and some more healing action right there. Next level is again more of those gold plates. Oh, by the way, the premium, the prototype gear plates right here where I'm tapping. Can you guys see that? Those are required every time you use one of these. So if you're getting up to level 10, you need to get up to level 11, 12, and 13. You'll need the appropriate amount of gear plates for that specific gear, whether it be firepower, aviation, guns, planes, torpedoes, and guns, planes, torpedoes. There's actually a lot. Guns, planes, torpedoes, anti-air, and an auxiliary, or also known as general parts. And you'll need like a certain number of these with a certain number of these. And so these are important as well as these, because you need both of them. And I believe you only need them for the last level. And I have to go check on that real quick. So you get more of those right there, though. You get the specialized gear plate thing that's used strictly only for leveling up the ultra rare UR gear that you have past level 10. And then, of course, this is the big thing right here. This is the thing that you're going after the most. And that is the UR gear design for the UR gear design plans, which is exactly the same as the SR ones, but they give you those design plans needed for making the UR guns, the UR items. And almost every single one that you can make in Gear Lab is definitely essential. So you definitely want to pick up these. Most of those UR equipment are best in slot. Not all the time. And then, of course, more of the same. But then you get one more thing here. This is the top secret UR, and these are the creme de la creme of the URs. They're the best of the UR stuff you can buy, make in Gear Labs. And so you definitely want this. Now the problem is you can only buy one. So you're getting and those gears that require these guys, like Tenrai. Tenrai requires 6 of these guys. You can get a Tenrai every 6 months if you're on top of it and get up to this. And you can purchase this item right here. And after 6 months, you have a new Tenrai, basically. There's more to it than that, but yeah, basically. Yeah, that's how you get those really, really good gear. Now, there are other ways to get more of these, and I'll just kind of show you that in a second here. For instance, these have, once you collect these, they have an option to combine them to make the UR equivalent of these. But it requires 8 of these guys. So you can speed it up if you get a lot of these regular Tier 2 ordnance testing reports. You can get the UR ordnance testing report. The T3, as it says, as it's called. But it sacrifices 8 of these guys. And yeah, sometimes it's worth it. Especially if you're starting out, definitely worth it. You'll be able to get some of the SR gear pretty quickly, but like probably worry about the SR gear you can get with these until after you have enough of the UR gear for a full fleet. And that's kind of my opinion. Is for a full fleet or two, specifically in those later maps where you want two fleets with like max gear. So I'll focus on getting these at the very beginning, but after a while, it depends on how fast you want to get the new gear. So now all of these little tiers, as you can see, I'm locked out of most of them. All these tiers require you to clear, capture various areas. So like this unlocks after you capture and clear basically 5 areas. This 20, this 35, and then they go down from there 10, 25, 40. Then there's 15, 30, 45, and of course the most valuable section has 20 for the first section, 35 for the next section, and then 50 for that coveted top section. And definitely, that's the whole point you're doing this before. This is the only reason to really be in this mode is for those. Now, other buttons you should know about is this is no longer useful. This is used to be where you get your missions, but the problem is you had to go to each of the 4. There's 4 main ports where you can access this menu right here, and there are other ports you can access, but they will not have any of these buttons at the bottom there. None of these buttons down here will be available. There'll just be a blank spot. You can't even heal. You can't resupply. You can't get missions. So there's only 4 main ports that you can go ahead and access to get all 3 of these items. So this is something that you should get rid of because it's not used anymore. Now, formation, this is where you heal. Now, as I said, you're going to get on the healing items that you can heal on the fly, but here you can go ahead and see the repair all button right here. Now I can go push it and say no ships need repair. I can also go ahead and just click this button. Okay, no ships need repair, but if I click it, then I can go ahead and pick which ships I want to heal fully. Now, this is the best way to heal in this game. The cost for healing ships takes these guys right here, these operation supply coins. So you're going to have a lot of them, and I don't think I've ever spent above 2,000 of those coins to heal all of my ships at once. Those were some really bad runs, but yeah, you're going to heal all of them max. Not only does this repair them all max, any kind of debuff they may have had, say, for instance, if you had a fleet that was defeated, they'll get a debuff, and this will clear that debuff, or if one of the ships got injured. The interesting thing is, like, when one of the ships, like, for instance, if this ship, oh yeah, you can select them, yeah, okay. But if, let's say, for instance, this ship, while in the battle, went down to 0. If you had her go do another battle, she'll come into the battle with, like, 1 hit point and a massive debuff. And so, of course, you don't want to do that. Because, yeah, they're going to get, especially with just 1 hit point and a massive debuff, they're not going to do you any good. So, getting them out of the, coming back out into here, and you can pretty much get to this one of these ports at any time, no matter what you're in the middle of, with one exception. And I'll go and show you that exception in a second here, but basically healing them all just gets rid of all the debuffs, heals them up perfectly. They're just fine. Key point in here, though, to note is that this any ships used in this game mode, it does not affect or hinder their affection for you. So I know outside of this game mode, if you go to any kind of world map, do any kind of thing in the world map area, or go into do an event, for instance. Like right now, we're still kind of doing the Tempest event. And if you were to go ahead and do any of those events, every battle that they're in, they earn affinity toward you. Anytime they get like knocked out or they pass out, they lose a little bit of affinity from you, you know. Or if they get overworked, they lose a little bit of affinity for you. In this game mode, none of it happens. You don't gain nor lose affinity. So this is the game mode that you go to when you're out of oil, basically. So, because it's nothing you do affects their feelings for you. So that's nice. Now, a couple other key things to look at. So that's, you know, we went to storage. I only have 2,000 coin. This will fill up, of course. You can kind of look at the gear that you have available for you, to you. Beyond just seeing what gear you have, there's not a real way to like equip your ships. And then of course here shows you all your plates and like how much of these items, these materials do you have and what you need. And so actually it's a good place to do it here. Of course, this is where that tier 3 ordnance report would be. Specialized gear upgrade part. And there's the gold plates. Now, the two items that you're going to use the most in Gear Lab is this one right here. Military grade electronic components. This is used in just about every single aircraft, every single anti-aircraft gun. So any aircraft and anti-aircraft gun that you're going to do in the SR area is going to use these suckers. And so there are also some, and I just went ahead and made a gun that used some of these things, like a destroyer gun that used some of these things in its creation. And sometimes they're used for some of the higher end guns, like battleship guns, but they are very, very valuable. 9 times out of 10, though, when you're doing anything that requires firepower, so any kind of guns, you're going to be using these guys here. The HBX blend gunpowder. This also is used in a few of the aircraft as well. For instance, the aircraft that use the bombers and torpedo bombers are going to be heavy into these areas. Also, this is used for torpedoes a lot. And so, any kind of gun, any kind of torpedo, anything that uses torpedoes, you know, the torpedo bombers, and even the dive bombers, I think also use these as well. But I think they use more. I think they're more use more of the military grade electronic components. But yeah, both of those items you're going to be using the most of. The least amount that they're going to use, of course, these guys. You're just going to get stacks of them. You're going to get angry about how much of this shit you get because they don't get used often. I think some like high purity metals, if we were allowed to, say, start making auxiliary items in Gear Labs, these will be hot commodity because anything that kind of enhances the armor, and there are some auxiliary items that do enhance armor. This is what you would probably use the most of. Superconductive metals, again, like radar dishes or other auxiliary items probably would use it a lot, but we can't do this yet. High durability, elastometers, okay. And then of course, corrosive resistant alloys. It's like all the other stuff, like these are like the damage dealing mats that you'll want to get. These don't do things that are going to do damage. They'll do something. Whether it be airplanes or other ships. And then of course all these are just backups to play backup for these two guys. As you can see, that's why I only have very little of these guys. And then, and as I said, there is one thing that uses these a lot, and I'll show you what they are. And it's actually a very good item. You should definitely stock up on those. So, but yeah, you get to that page by using the storage button right there. And then, of course, information button. Basically just shows you your current missions. Right now, the only mission I have is take out the orbiter, arbiter in the middle of the map. Now, you can access this, the actual daily missions here, but there's another easier place to get to it. Exploration progress. Oh, right here. This is all of the achievements, if you will, that you need for each zone. For instance, like this first zone, I have gotten everything I need. You know, gain control of one section. Boom, unlocks. Perform reconnaissance 19 times in this zone. Done. You know. Defeated 15 promoted pawn fleets, which I'll show you what those are in a second. They're the boss fleets of each section, basically. And there's usually at least one in every map, with the higher levels getting up to like 3 and 4. And then, of course, use Siren data logger tower 2 times. And then, of course, resolve 3 energy matrices and restore 3 energy matrices in their correct positions. Those are random items. They're not always going to be available in the map. And these are per map, and again, like encounter mysterious missions twice in some of one of the first zones. I haven't done that yet because it's random. I have no choice on what happens. And of course, there's like a recovery file. Now, these files it talks about right there, where I haven't received here yet. That file is lore. It tells you about the area. It gives you some lore, everything that's going on. And you can go and do all or unfinished and just use your unfinished zones. And so, yeah. So we'll get out of there and we'll go over to the main map. And this is where you're going to get right here at the bottom corner here, the bottom right corner, daily missions. You're going to grab them all because obviously you have none. And you can, like, you start out and you get 6 of them, right? No, 6. Let me look at this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 appear daily, and it kind of caps out the area. The daily missions section caps out, I think, at like 10 or 12. Like in this section, only can have a maximum of 10 or 12, or maybe 15, and you can only carry actually I think it's 15, and you can only carry 10 until you take care of them. And of course, those green indicators are all where all those daily missions are. So a lot of them happen at port, which is helpful. And then let's see here. And of course, the meta showdown is the whole reason why you're doing this. Oh, it's not Kawakazi. It's what's it? Kawakazi was recent, but it's Dog Girl. I can only think of her name is Dog Girl. God, I know I'm not a big fan of hers, honestly. Like a lot of people swear by her, but I'm not a big fan. Yudachi. That's the newest one right now. Bye, Julian. Good night. Julian's owner grabbed him and is bringing him to bed. So, Yudachi is the one that's going on right now. I thought it was Kawakazi. I don't know. Like I got her. She is max level. Like she's max limit broke right now for me. I also maxed out all of her base stats, working on her skills, and then also working on getting her to at least level 105. No, she's at level 105 already. I'm working on getting her to level 120, so I can get in addition. But this is where you would do it. You need 100 of these guys here. 100 meta coordinate loggers. These drop 10 to 20 from every one of those boss fleets that you encounter in each level, and so you'll get 10 to 20. Of course, like at lower levels, you're only going to get 10 for like those first easy areas to clear, because those boss fleets are like what, level 60? I think this is what they cap out on. I'll have to look at that. But yeah, but you'll get 10 of them for each boss fleet you do. Once you get up to some of the higher levels, you have a chance of getting 20 of them. And then there's other places where you can get more of these. But mostly you're going to get them from boss fleets. You also get them from chests, treasure chests. Once you clear a zone, the area fills with treasure chests, which gives you those some of those. Gives you a chance to get some of those. Like again, in some of the lower levels, you have a chance of getting up to 10, but you're not guaranteed. But yeah, so, but that's where you want to get 200 of these guys every day, because that's your max. That gives you 2 chances to fight this person for to earn points on their chart, basically the data sync chart right here. And as you can see, I'm down. I just have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 more items to get. I have to get up to level 70,000 of the what are these? The sync points. That's what you get. Synchronization point. Yudachi meta. So I'm like basically looking at just getting cognitive chips and some of the tier 5 UR tech packs, which very rarely actually drop a UR item. I don't think I've had it happen once. So, but they have the option of guaranteed to receive super rare gear, very rare chance to get a UR gear. Actually, doesn't even mention the chance of getting UR gear. I just assumed. So this is something I learned apparently, or just now. I assumed because it was purple that it will get me a chance for UR, but no, it just gives you guaranteed super rare. Whereas the gold version of these guys, the tier 4s, will get you a guaranteed elite and a potential for a gold item. So I thought these were the same. I never read the details. I didn't really care. And honestly, I care, but not enough to look into it. And of course, you get some more of these items for their stats. Typically, they're geared towards whatever character you're working on, but not always. Like, for instance, this is for firepower, which she will need, but then there's this, which is for aviation. And she's not going to be using any aviation stats. So, of course, you can also, like, going in here, you can also go and look at their various other areas. This is where you would go to limit break them. What you need for them is copies of themselves, which will turn into these crystals, and these crystals are what you need to be able to upgrade them. There's no way of getting the crystals. Well, there is one way of getting the crystals, other than just going up the synchronization rack. So you'll get them. You need to get up to at least 25,000 points, synchronization points, to be able to fully limit break these characters. So you get the first one right here. That's when you unlock them for the first time. And then at 10,000, you get your first limit break. Where is it? Right here. 10,000 first limit break right there. Then 15,000 second limit break, and then at 20,000, because it requires two for the last limit break, 20,000 and 25,000, you'll get the last two crystals you need to limit breaker, fully limit breaker. And then of course, here are those skills. If I wanted to, I do have lots actually. Might as well. And yeah, you can go ahead and speed that up, and then begin research on her next skill. And this is where it's right here is where it says how many experience she gets for doing anything. So if you do exercises, that's 15 experience points towards this total every time you do it. You can do it as a maximum of 40 times. No, actually, 60 over 50. So it's like 40 over 50. Is that limited? It's weird. It's like, is that 40 points per day, unlimited days? I don't get what that means actually. Oh, no. It tells me how much I got so far of it, you know. So I got 40 points out of my infinite number of points. So as many times as I can go do exercise, I'm going to get 15 points. Commissions, this is where I get actually a lot of my points from, because it's unlimited, and you get 20 points every time you do one. So you do a commission. And then, of course, sortie and obtain victory. You get 50 points per that. So you do have a maximum of, looks like 150. And of course, I reached that maximum already. Oh, no, I haven't reached that maximum yet, I guess. I think it counts down to 0. So once it gets down to 0, then I can't do it anymore. Yeah. Defeat one enemy. 1 XP. So per enemy, 1 XP. So that's you do a level, and there's like 20 guys there, and you get 20 points, maximum 2,000. So like you kill 100 guys, you kill 2,000 guys, and you max out on that one right there. Win one battle in Operation Siren, and so that's 30 points per, 100 points total. Defeat one enemy in Operation Siren. Very similar. 2 points instead of 1 point. Complete one port mission in Operation Siren. You get 500 points for that. You can do it twice, looks like. I don't get the why they just don't say infinite and infinite. Like, why 40 while it's 66 out of infinite, you know? I think it counts up, not down. So I think that this is not how many experience points you get, but how many times you can get this boost. 150 times out of 150 times means I can't get any more on this area. But I've gotten did 68 commissions for this, and it's infinite. So maybe that's it. I don't know. It's there's some parts about it that doesn't really explain how it works. Log in the coordinates of one meta ship. You can get this a total of 3 times. It's 200 points. Engage in one meta showdown. 1. Win a battle with Yudachi Meta in your fleet. I've done that 0 times because she's not ready yet. Defeat a level 30 plus fleet with you dodging yellow, 55 pain and 85 fleet. Now I should put her in one of my low level 105 fleets. I think she's ready for at least that, and so she'll start earning points like gangbusters. Operation Siren, okay. So that's kind of what all you do to kind of level up their skills is like you go through and you do something on this list to get points for it. Now it is an obscene number of points that you need to get level these gear up. But yeah, that's kind of how you do it. And of course, this is where you would go ahead and level up the base stats. Of course, she didn't use any firepower, but she used the torpedo and the reload. So those are the two stats you can go ahead and increase. And of course, you get bonuses that when you reach certain overall percentages with a bonus boost once you get up to 100, of course. And I want to say they're all at level 25, but like the first one's at like 20%, and then the other one is like at like 20, like 35%. It's weird. I have to look that up. It's just not. It does not make sense to me. So of course I don't remember it. So on that second slot, let me go ahead and go back there. This second slot is if you have other ship, some of the permanent meta ships that you have to acquire. And you can actually get these a lot easier through this method than a normal method, because there is not a real limit to getting the the coordinates. These guys, these dossier coordinate loggers. There's no real limit. Like, you can reach a limit for the regular metal loggers, but you don't reach a limit for the dossier coordinate loggers. So even when you cap out on the regular meta ones, you can still earn those guys. Of course, I'm at my max. And so once you get to your max at 14, if there's a meta ship that you never went through their whole synchronization track, you can finish them off here. Or if you never fought them before, you can grab them now. At the beginning, there's a lot of carriers. With Arc Royal meta here and Hero meta here being two of the best ones in the carrier area. The Queen Elizabeth meta is also very good. She's basically a bit of a fleet booster for meta ships. Not a very good one, but the only one that they have. And so, a couple other good ones here. Let's see here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to think of. I think it was Repulse that was, or Renown that was also really good as far as the battleship ones. I cannot pronounce her name, but I love her. Naysal, whatever, Meta, whatever it is, was also very good in my opinion. Azur was not bad either. Kirov, Jutsu Meta, and of course Helena Meta. Definitely ones you should get as well. So concentrate on Jinsu Meta. Helena Meta is also very, very good as well. I'd also, I believe Vladimir is also very good too. But you can also look them up as far as tier listing is concerned, and you can pretty much, they'll let you know which ones to concentrate on. It's not a tier listing. Just what I remember from other tier lists that I've seen, and other like analysis of their abilities. So, and of course, of the carriers, I think Kiryu is the best one that's come out so far. But not a lot of carriers have been coming out. I think they should do more carriers, honestly. But yeah, let's see here. So I'll go ahead and check out. I want to show you something in Gear Lab, and this is going to be very quick. And then of course we'll go from there. But here we have, kind of give you an idea. By the way, I got to here by hitting Lab at the bottom, and then Gear Lab right here. And if you don't know where it is. And of course, you have the multiple factions